I've recently been in the market for a new productivity notebook to run this business. Now I've reached out to HP and they've sent over what they consider to be the most popular notebook for small and medium businesses. So we're going to take a look at that today and put it to the test. Now whilst I unbox it, I'm going to quickly talk about its specs. This is the EliteBook 6 G1a. Advanced by the AMD Ryzen AI 350 processor. So that's an 8-core, 16-thread efficient CPU with a powerful onboard NPU and GPU. Now our model also has 32GB of RAM, a 1TB SSD and Wi-Fi 7 to round out a speedy productivity experience. Now specs are important, but let's be honest, for a business laptop, ergonomics, battery life and a quality screen are more important than the actual raw performance of a system. Most of us spend the majority of our time working in mail, office apps, or maybe doing a bit of researching, which rarely push business laptops to their capacity. Now, with all of us having busy work schedules, especially in small businesses, where we often have to wear multiple hats, we need to simplify our workflow. So with that in mind, I have a checklist of expectations and requirements that I consider necessary for a business laptop in the small to medium business community. Firstly, being mobile, a compact 14-inch form factor is an absolute priority. This is so it's easy to throw in a bag for transporting to and from the office, and for taking on-site visits. From my experience in the corporate environments, we would always employ 14-inch laptops unless there was a key need for larger screen sizes, and in which case the 16-inch EliteBooks do fill that role. Now a compact 14-inch laptop allows you to easily work on the road, then dock to a larger screen when you return to your office. And this EliteBook 6 hits that sweet spot. It feels rugged, it's compact, and it feels very light, so let's just quickly weigh that. 1.44 kilograms. Light enough that I can throw it in my bag and just not worry about it. Also, ports are still very important to me. I've tried the dongle life, but in the real world, we all forget dongles, so having all the key ports as standard on a business laptop is an absolute priority. Now so far, this EliteBook 6 doesn't disappoint. Let's quickly take a look. On the left side, we've got HDMI 2.1, a USB-A, 2 USB 4s, and a headphone jack. As we turn to the right side, we get another USB-A, an RJ45 and a Kensington lock if you need to lock it down in your office. Now the only negative for me is that there's no SD card slot, and as a content creator I find it very useful, but obviously not everyone's going to have that requirement. Now some other features that are mandatory. Firstly is a great keyboard. When I'm docked in the office I'm going to use my bigger mechanical keyboard, a mouse and a large screen. But when I'm on customer sites, working from home or in a coffee shop, a solid keyboard's a must. So let's quickly check this one out. The keys on this EliteBook 6 has great pressure and a great layout, giving a fantastic typing experience. It also has white backlighting for if you're in a darker environment. Below that, we have a glass trackpad, which tracks and clicks perfectly, which is handy when you are out and it's inconvenient to actually use a mouse. Also notice, just to the right of the actual trackpad, we do have a fingerprint reader for that fast logon, which is nice and secure. Now my last requirement is that high quality matte screen. Now, HP do sell an EliteBook model with a beautiful glossy OLED panel. Now, we've reviewed that, so by all means check out that review after this one. But as good as OLED looks, glossy screens are not great when you can't control your lighting. Glare is a real world problem, so this matte panel is absolutely perfect. It's also 120Hz, so it feels incredibly fluid, and the high DPI of 2560 by 1600 display makes text and images look super crisp on this panel, which also gets very bright, perfect when you're using it in bright office environments or if you're out and about. Of course, the speakers, microphone and webcam are also important, especially in this digital age where we're always on online meetings. So let's go and test those out. Speaker test of the HP EliteBook 6 G1a at 100%. Okay, so pretty average business class notebook speakers. That's one area I do wish that the business community would actually try and innovate a little bit more and push those speakers to be a bit better. This is a test of the webcam on the HP EliteBook 6 G1a. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think this webcam looks and sounds like. And we do also have Windows Hello facial recognition built into this laptop. So that's for those speedy facial recognition logons. But it has a webcam shutter switch as well for the privacy conscious. So you can flick that switch on the top, which will shut off the actual webcam, but that which will also disable the facial recognition. But then you do have that fingerprint sensor too. Right, so now we've looked around this laptop, I want to just crack it open and take a quick look inside. You'll notice the large battery at the bottom of the laptop, followed by the downward firing speakers. As we move up, we can see one SSD slot, which provides that fast 1TB drive, which can be upgraded yourself if you need more storage. Now you'll notice the metal Faraday cage, which protects the RAM. If we pop that off, you'll notice that we have the 32GB of RAM, which makes it easier to upgrade down the line. And so if you wanted to upgrade this to 64GB, you could add one more stick of RAM and you're away. You don't have to remove the other stick and therefore waste that RAM. We're going to quickly look at this cooling solution, which is a 1 fan and 2 heat pipe solution, pushing that hot air out of the back hinge. So now we're back into Windows. Let's quickly talk about the performance of this system. The AMD Ryzen AI 350 processor is an 8-core 16-thread CPU, and despite being low power, has an incredible amount of compute, more than enough for your Microsoft Office needs, and it also has enough power to run VMs or handle software compiling and image processing. Running Geekbench 6 on this laptop, the AI 350 has a solid single-core score, leading to snappy operation and app loading times. We can see strong scores in multi-core scores on Geekbench 6, as well as in the 10-minute long torch test of Cinebench R23. And despite using only 40 watts, we get incredible performance. Now, Ryzen's always offered incredibly efficient chips and has been my go-to brand for personal daily use laptops. This Ryzen laptop also has an onboard NPU capable of up to 50 TOPS. Now, we've already seen this in action on the Polycom camera software, but HP also have their own AI companion app, allowing you to build your own local AI libraries. That's perfect if you want to store your own internal business data that you wouldn't want to risk putting out into the cloud. And of course, there's the Wolf security built in, using that AMD Ryzen NPU to help keep your laptop safe without even needing to use your CPU, like creating a firewall on the fly when a link the user clicks may be dodgy, freeing up your computer for the more important work your teams are doing. Obviously, being an AMD Ryzen, we get the great AMD Radeon 860M graphics. Perfect for media consumption and Photoshop work, but it's also more than capable for 3D design and CAD work. Now, I heavily stress my system with Blender 3D modeling, and this thing cuts straight through it. And of course, creating these videos, I need it to be able to edit some of our videos when Gary, our editor, is just too busy. Now, I know editing isn't super important in the business world, but the fact that this laptop can handle such a demanding task is a testament to this laptop's power. So before we start stressing this laptop, I do want to mention that just running day-to-day apps such as Office, web browsing and mail, this thing is dead silent. The fans in this actual studio are louder than this laptop is, so we won't be able to hear it until we really start stressing it. But for me, that is a really big deal because I hate it when you've got fans spinning up all the time when you're doing light workload. That's not the case with this EliteBook. So first things first, I'm going to fire up Cinebench R23, which is a 10-minute long torch test, so we can see how loud the fans get and how hot this laptop gets. So here we go. So we can see we're now off. If I bring up the task manager, you can see that all of these cores are being fully stressed. So that's all 8 cores, 16 threads, and we're hitting about 3.27 gigahertz with the whole CPU stressed. The CPU tops out at 82 degrees Celsius whilst pulling over 30 watts without any throttling for the duration of the 10-minute tests. Now this is impressive. And the fan noise in this laptop is also really well controlled, being silent in light use and only hitting 36 decibels when we're maxing out that CPU. With regards to the external heat, the palm rest and the keyboard remain cool to the touch even under full load, meaning the laptop is comfortable to use even when you're heavily utilising this machine. Okay, so I'm loading up a large model now in Blender just to see how well it can cope. Now, normally I would be doing this on a much larger screen, but the fact that you've got such a high DPI panel with this 14-inch display, you can do a bit of work on the go as well. Being that matte screen as well, this is really comfortable on your eyes and something that I absolutely love when I'm out and about, showing off some work to a client or maybe just working on my own in a coffee shop. So as you can see, a reasonably large model. Let's have a look at the task manager. It's utilising that onboard GPU. No problems panning around. So as I actually render it, it's actually hitting the CPU. And you can see here that we are hitting 100% of the CPU, but it is able to render this quite a large project. So considering this is a mobile CPU with onboard graphics, this is really impressive. So let's quickly load up the HP AI Companion app. So the HP AI Companion app allows you to have local AI libraries, or you can actually go out to the cloud as well. So you can utilize this for your cloud AI based searches, or you can reference all your own documents into a library on your local AI and have it do the local work for you. Particularly decent if you've got sensitive material you don't want to be putting out to the cloud. So the fact that you get this with this actual laptop, with this AI companion, you're not having to pay extra for it, and it's using the NPU on this AMD Ryzen chip to actually utilize this feature. So using the Poly Camera Pro app, as you can see, I've got lots of different applications. This does use the onboard NPU. So let's go back through to the NPU on our task manager. And as you can see, we're getting 42% usage on the NPU for the Polycom software because it's rendering these desktops behind me. So I've just put an office. Let's have a cafe. So you can see it's doing a pretty good job of popping that background in and separating me from my existing background, which is quite colourful and quite detailed. It's cut me up pretty well, and it is very well done. Obviously using that or leveraging that NPU. See, that's quite consistent, 42%, no issues at all. And so if you are in sort of your Teams meeting or your conference calls, you can utilize this to put yourself a better background, especially if you're in a messy environment. Another important aspect that we mentioned at the beginning is the battery life. And this laptop doesn't disappoint. Running this laptop on balanced performance mode at 200 nits of brightness, we ran YouTube over Wi-Fi for over 10 hours of battery before it actually died. Obviously, if you stress the laptop harder, that number will deplete. But considering this was in balance and at 120 Hz, I'm really happy with that result. If you're taking this out and about, taking notes in meetings, on customer sites, doing a bit of research, bit of writing, you are going to have all day battery life, no problem at all. It's only if you're going to be doing some 3D work that you're going to see that battery deplete faster. Performance on battery is also very good. Leaving it in the balance mode, I got some pretty good scores in Geekbench 6 compared to its actually on mains. And you can put it in high performance mode, which gives you almost identical performance to the mains performance at a cost in battery life. So I want to get back onto portability. And what's so special with modern laptops is that USB 4 port. With this one port, I can charge it with its included 100 watt power adapter, or I can use any decent USB-C charger, power bank, or a dock. Now, because that USB 4 port provides data and power, I can create myself a one cable docking solution for my home or my office. I love the fact that I can come in from a hard day's work, plug in this laptop with that one cable, which charges the laptop back up and puts all of my information through my large screen keyboard and mouse, making it a really comfortable office experience. Okay, now lastly, the laptop comes with 1 year return to base warranty. Now personally for me, this isn't going to be enough. HP do offer a 3-year warranty upgrade, which is an on-site package and was only about £130 in the UK, which in my opinion is an absolute bargain for 3 years on-site warranty. Anything goes wrong with this laptop, they'll come to you and fix it. And that is really important for a business class machine. And I think if you're buying it, that is an absolute must. So there we go. That's my thoughts on the HP EliteBook 6 G1a. This really is a fantastic all-day, everyday business laptop. Perfect for what I'm looking for in a laptop, with those ports, that beautiful screen that is matte, great battery life and great performance. This truly is an excellent machine. So that's the EliteBook 6 G1a, advanced by the AMD Ryzen AI 7. This should be your next business notebook. Now, as always, I'd love to know what you guys think. Pop it down in the comments down below and I will get back to you. And as always, thanks for watching.